everybody. Welcome to the Moment with Moeghetti podcast. It is I, your hostesses with the mostest, your auntie, your sister, your cousin, your best friend, always coming with the realness. Moeghetti herself. Hello. Now, he not finna play with me and act like these buttons ain't different now. Hold on.
Them the same buttons.
They are not the same
I mean,
buttons.
there's a couple.
Okay, it ain't clap. I'm supposed to have a round of applause for
Give
myself.
it a minute. It's loading.
There it is. Gotta warm the buttons up. Okay. Hi. Hey y'all. Welcome to the Moment with Moeghetti podcast. I'm really excited to be back behind the mic. It feels like I haven't been here in ages. I guess the last time I did a show, I was a guest on the Minding My Own podcast. I had a great time. I had a great time with Kenda and Tika G. I had a wonderful conversation about mental health and what that looks like in real time and whether or not people really need it. It was a really profound conversation, and we just kind of dove into the difference between therapy and therapeutic activities, and I really enjoyed that. But I haven't been on my show doing my thing by myself with me and you in a while, so I'm glad to be back. I'm excited to be back. I have a really good topic. I'm not on the correct page of my thing. There we go. For my topics today. But we're going to be talking today about you are your priorities. So you know how they always say you are what you eat? Well, you are your priorities. So we're going to dive into that in just a moment. But in good old church girl Moeghetti fashion, I got to open up with the church announcements. Hold on. What you just do to these buttons? Okay, there's a second page of buttons.
There's an infinite page of buttons if need be.
And then he be telling me that there is nothing different, and now all of a sudden there is an infinite number of. Wait, hold on.
Stop being weird, nigga.
Oh, that wasn't supposed to cuss. It's just that stop being weird. Anyway.
Okay, I give you that.
Anyway.
Oh my.
That wasn't supposed to happen. But anyways, welcome to the Moment with Moeghetti podcast. I am touching stuff.
You are so happy to be back.
I am so happy to be back on live. I'm in here pushing buttons. I'm in here getting distracted by my own self. But we're gonna get to it. So the church announcements. I had one. I've been on vacation. Hold on. I had an announcement for y'all. Oh, I have a couple of announcements for you guys. Well, since my last episode, no, I couldn't have started it since the last episode. I had to start it before the last episode. Anyways.
Nope, you started after the last episode.
Anyways, I am now conducting what I call the Spectacular Performance Academy, which is, hold on. Gang. Yes, the Spectacular Performance Academy. It takes place the second and fourth Wednesday of the month. It is an opportunity for artists of all types, stage performers of all types, whether you are a singer, whether you are a speaker, a poet, a storyteller, or just somebody who wants to gain a little bit more confidence in what they do on the stage and, raise their stage presence. Come to the Spectacular Performance Academy, second and fourth Wednesday of the month. It is held at Paradise Lounge, which is Old King Hall, 3413 North Dr. Martin Luther King Drive, 7 p.m. till, I say 9 o'clock, but the last time we went a little bit longer. And so I'm really excited about it. It is a newer endeavor of mine. This week will be the third class that we've held. And, so far so good. I had an opportunity to coach one of the participants in the most recent poetry slam. And we had a really good time just really working intimately with people who are looking to work on their crafts. I know that there are a lot of open mics around the city and there's lots of opportunities to get on stage, but there's not always a lot of opportunities to prep you for those moments. And there are people who really want to, expand and even want to step into the open mic scene. but don't feel quite prepared. So the Spectacular Performance Academy is a place where you can get feedback on your work, where you can get feedback on your stage presence, where you can get an opportunity to just sit in a loving environment. And so what we do there is I teach lessons, we do improv games, and offer you an opportunity to be in the spotlight, get on stage, and practice your work. Now, don't get it twisted. It is loving, but I am critical because that's what you came here for. But I am just as encouraging as I am critical. So as we evolve, I really just want to help you find you and put an exclamation point on it. That is my ultimate goal when it comes to this performance academy. And I've spent time really developing my own skills through different avenues, from singing in choir to doing theater to I used to actually be the president of my poetry club when I was in undergrad, which made me also the coach. And so at this point in my life, I'm really just integrating a lot of things that I've done in the past and bringing it to the public, and taking it out of the shadows and showcasing my own skills and hoping to grow other people in the process. And so, it's not just my performance arts background that I bring to it, but I also bring my therapist background to it as well. So for those who suffer from anxiety, I got some tips for that too. Your body always shaking when you get on stage, I have some tips for that as well. So I'm really excited about it. It's a free course. We do it church style. So we pass the basket at the end, and you make a donation towards the event. So as I say here, whatever's in your wallet, hold on, buy me a coffee, buy me a car, whatever's in your wallet and whatever is on your heart is what I'm asking you to bring in order to support this endeavor, to support myself and to support the Paradise Social Lounge. And as we garner um, more a larger audience, as we build our community, I'm hoping, well, I am planning, not just hoping, I am planning to bring in coaches as well. And so in order for me to be able to do that, I have to know that you guys are going to show up in the first place, so that I have something, and audience wise and financial wise, to offer my guest coaches, because I value my time. I value their time. And I also value the art. So I want to make it accessible to those who really need it. But I also want to provide the opportunity for those who are able to support this endeavor to support this endeavor. And not just me, but also the Paradise Social Lounge, which is a Black owned business. And so if you're interested in joining the Spectacular Performance Arts Academy, just meet me at Paradise 7 p.m. Doors open at 6. So Paradise Social Lines opens at 6. She'll have a little food. Bars open. Don't get too wasted before we get the critiquing, because then you're gonna be mad I call you sloppy. Just saying. but the doors open for anybody who wants to come through, whether you are a novice or a veteran. For those who are new, we have a lot of tips for you. And for those who are vets, I love to include your expertise and your thoughts as well on the performers, and how you get in mode to do your things, and also your experiences, as well as getting over your own anxiety, because I know a lot of artists who have been out here for a while who still get nervous, still have insecurities, still get stage fright. And so to understand, as a new person or a veteran artist, know that sometimes we're all just artists who are sensitive about our stuff and need to get through it. But there's still beauty in using your art and expressing yourself and telling your story and giving your speeches or whatever it is that you do, because it is a gift to be on stage and to be able to share a piece of yourself, a piece of your thoughts, a piece of your inspiration with a larger audience. So second and fourth Wednesday, as of now, is the Paradise Social Lounge. I'm hoping to grow it 7 p.m. till approximately 9 p.m. Come on down. It don't cost you nothing to get in, but if you can support the establishment, it is greatly appreciated. I think that is my only personal church announcement, but definitely follow me, especially on Instagram, at Moeghetti. If you would like to to know the different things that I'm involved in, the different people and activities I'm supporting, because I definitely try to make sure that I keep different things going on with the TDR network and other open mics that or the other social opportunities that I come across. If I plan to be there, I try to show it and try to share it so that you guys know what's going on in the community as well, especially what's going on in TDR. Because that's the family and we support from the inside around here. So follow me, follow me, follow me, follow me, follow me, so that we can all support each other.
Yes, I got something that works for you.
And Tone is over there saying he's got something in the works for me. So you got your mic on over there while you making side commentary? You can't make side commentary and not have your mic on, because then it just looks like I'm looking angrily in the corner for no reason. And I know I get a side eye without trying to. It's not even angry. It's just my face be doing that.
It be doing what it be doing.
All right, guys. So let's jump on into the topic today. The topic for today is you are your priorities. You are your priorities. So the everybody knows the phrase you are what you eat. You are what you eat. And I've even spoken on that topic before of you are what you eat. Um First and foremost, we think of it as nutritionally. Second of all, we think of it as far as the things that we consume, like through media. Um, but I'd like to take that concept just a step forward and wrap it in you are your priorities, because it's not just what you consume, it's what you put in front of you, it's what you make important. And that can encompass as well the things that you consume, such as your food. What do you make it a priority to eat? What type of content on the internet or on television you or music you choose to consume? It encompasses those things as well. But I like to take it a little bit of a step forward, because I've found in my own life that I've gone under quite a transformation, and I can attribute that to reestablishing my priorities, really getting in touch with myself and being honest about the things that I have been prioritizing and how they affect me, and what things I would rather be prioritizing, and how that can help me shift my life. And so I was also inspired by some topics that have been coming up in my therapist practice. A lot of people end up coming to therapy because they say they lost themselves. They lost themselves. They lost themselves. It's like, how you lose yourself? You right here. Hi, I know where you are. But really, what they've lost is the prioritization of the things that they enjoy in their lives. And they reconfigured their lives to the point in which they prioritize so many others that they don't know where their own what their own priorities are, let alone where they fit and how to make them robust and fulfilling. And so here we are to talk about you are your priorities, because at the end of the day, you are the sum of the things that you do throughout that day. You're not the sum of the things that you don't do that day. Yours the sum of the things that you create and make important. So y'all know I like a good definition. So the word priority. Priority is defined as the fact or condition of being regarded or treated as more important. The fact or condition of being regarded or treated as more important. So I underlined the words treated as more important as a focal point of priorities, because it's not, your priorities aren't about what you think are important. It's not even about what you feel is important. It is about what you treat as more important than other things. Because I can think that eating vegetables is more important than eating candy. But if I sit and I eat candy and I don't eat vegetables, I am now treating the candy as if it is more important than the vegetables, because I am choosing to make it a focal point, a precedent in my life. I am choosing to engage with this thing over the engagement of other things. And so And so, though I may say that it is a priority to do something, if I'm not actually engaging with it, I'm not treating it as a priority. Um, and I want to make it clear today, too, that I'm not here to shame anybody about anything that you make a priority because some days the priorities shift. Some days I love to be a hard worker, but some days the priority is I need to get some sleep. And some days I want to be in alignment with everything that I say that I want to accomplish out of life, but some days I make it a priority to be reckless. And so I'm not here to judge what you do. I just am here to bring enlightenment, though, on what it is that you are setting as your priority and to make sure that you understand the consequences behind that. And the idea that the more consistently you make something a priority, the more it's going to manifest as your way of life. And that's just plain and simple. Um, so, your priorities. How do you treat something as more important? Well, you treat it as more important by using your resources on it. Your resources being your time, your energy, and your money. Your resources go first to the things that you are consider as your priorities. Not the things that you think are a priority, but the things that you actually make a priority, things that you treat as most important. Now, I know sometimes we're like, man, how can people be out here and they ain't even paid their rent, but they bought a new wig or they bought some new shoes or bought a new clothes or bought a new car. Well, in their world, for whatever reason, you don't have to agree with it. I don't have to agree with it. But they are treating these things as a higher priority. And like I said, I'm not here to shame because sometimes we get ourselves in positions where this thing over here is going to make us feel better than that thing over there. A new wig might make you feel better than paying your rent. Sounds crazy, but at the time, if you look good and you can operate through this world with higher confidence, what you go home to sometimes doesn't matter. And so for that individual, they are treating this, they are spending their time, their energy, their money, their resources on this thing over the next thing. For another person, it might be the gym over sleep. Those people who have be up at 5 o'clock in the morning in there getting it in, kudos to them. That is not I. I enjoy the gym, but that is not I. They are making that a priority. They are spending their resources, their time, their energy, their money on that thing, and they are treating it as if it is the most important or it is more important. Now, I can't judge a person for thinking that being at the gym is more important than getting an extra 2 hours of sleep. And I can't judge another person for saying that getting 2 or more hours of sleep is more important than going to the gym because really wherever you are in the flow of your life would dictate whether or not you can even afford to spend your resources on these different things. Hey Chauncey, I see my cousin, a good preacher friend of mine, Chauncey Thompson, in the comments. Hello, thank you for joining the live today. Um, but yes, but the things that we spend our time, our energy, and our resources are the things that we are deeming with our actions to be most important. Um, and sometimes we do it by intention, and sometimes we do it by habit. Our intentions can become habits, and that is a great thing when we're talking about things that will uplift and edify us, but it is not so great when we end up making our intentions bad habits or bad habits as we don't so deem to ourselves, because if it's destructive for you and you're doing it all the time, it is now a bad habit, and it is now a priority if you are placing your time, your energy, your money on that thing over doing other things. And that's just the reality of it. And so we treat things as priorities, even when they are not. It is our treatment of what we are doing that dictates something as a priority. And sometimes when we sit down and we ask ourselves, is this more important than something else? Sometimes the answer is no. Sometimes the answer is flat out no. But yet we spend our time and our energy and our money on it. But yet we spend our time and our energy and our money on the things that we don't even consciously deem is more important. But somewhere subconsciously, we've created a precedent. We've been created importance for it. And so, if you find yourself in a situation where you are prioritizing through your actions things that are not for your greater good, sometimes you have to dig deep and ask yourself why. Why am I prioritizing this thing over other things? Why am I prioritizing going to this place versus staying home, or going to this place versus going somewhere else? Why am I prioritizing sleeping in versus getting work? Why am I prioritizing spending time alone versus going out? Why am I prioritizing eating healthy versus not? Why am I prioritizing spending time with my family versus spending time with my friends? Why am I prioritizing going to work versus going to the park? And when you ask yourself these questions, you can kind of dig deeper to determine what is it that is satiating within you that you are acting in this manner. If you find satisfaction in the thing in a genuine way, you're going to continue to do it. If you find ease with a thing in a genuine way, you're going to continue to do it, whether it is constructive or destructive for you. Simply a matter of fact, we don't do the hard thing naturally unless there is some source of satisfaction up underneath it. And so we have to ask ourselves the serious, hard questions. Why do I do this thing? Why do I do this thing? Why do I make it a priority? Why do I spend my time, my energy, and my money on it, whether it is good for me or it is not? Because sometimes, even in the quest of doing well in life, we can lose ourselves. We can lose the point of why we do it, and it can just become something mundane, and it can lose its luster and just be a thing, a habit that we engage in. But we get, not only can we be more consistent, but we get more fulfillment out of it if we understand why we are prioritizing different activities in our lives. I'm a church girl. Everybody know, don't bother me till about 1:30, 2 o'clock on a Sunday. Everybody know that. If you text me, you know you're not really going to get a response back. And if you do, people will be shocked. Because for many, 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 many years, Sunday morning, it is a priority of mine to make it to the church house. Now, as much of a priority as it is, even I struggle with the getting up and the going from time to time. Sometimes too many times to times. And sometimes that is tied to, what have I done the night before? What am I doing that morning? And it might not even be anything that is counterproductive or destructive that I've done that night before in the morning. I could be at a whole different gospel event the night before. I could be at the house making breakfast and praising the Lord the morning of. But the struggle to get there and get there on time is connected to, what am I making my priorities? Because if I'm making sleep my priority, if I'm making, getting my breakfast early my priority, if I'm making getting my outfit together my priority, if I'm making getting there on time my priority, other things get naturally shifted out of the way. Different decisions begin to be made. And I'm able to be more accountable to the thing that I say is most important, to the thing that I say is my priority. Now, don't get me wrong. If I ain't sick, I'm going to make it there. But what I spend my time and my energy and my money on around that sometimes gets shifted. And the why is sometimes perfectly fine. The Lord is not mad because I was at a revival the night before till midnight and I'm a little bit sleepy. He probably is not as pleased if I'm kicking it. And that's why I'm a little tired and I'm a little slower. But he is pleased with the fact that I make it there. And the why behind the reason for me going every week, sometimes it's because it's a habit. Sometimes it's because it's how I was raised. But most of the time, it's because I am aware that I need to be in fellowship with the saints. I am aware that I need a word from the Lord. I am aware of how grounding and centering it is for me to start my week off at church. And that is important to me. So I make it a priority. I spend my time, I spend my energy, and I spend my money doing that on a weekly basis. Now, the things that we don't deem as important with our actions get put on the back burner. What is the back burner? Now, anybody who cook, you look at the stove. You usually got about 4 eyes. If you fancy, you got more of them. When we're cooking, we're sautéing, we're cooking, we're doing something that needs a lot of attention. We're gonna put that right there on the front eyes because we need to keep a eye on it. We need to watch it. We need it to have all of our attention because it could burn or something could, it could start a fire or whatever. But for things that are slow boiling, simmering, or just need to sit, we will slide it to the back burners. It does not get as much time or energy from us because it is not a priority that we pay attention to it. We do that a lot with our hopes and our dreams and our activities that we want to engage in. Yes, it's important that we go to work and make sure we're paying the bills, but we put that right on the front burner, and then we put our desires on the back burner. Don't attend to them. Don't watch over them, and wonder why they're cooking slow or not at all because we're not giving it any attention. We're not making it a priority. We're not even trying to fit it in our lives in a way in which it can grow. And when we don't give things our time and our energy and our money, we don't give things our resources, they die. They die because we're not feeding them. You don't feed something, it dies. You don't water something, it dies, let alone not grow. It dies. And so that brings me back to what I was saying before about people losing themselves. People put their desires on the back burner to the point where they just turn the eye off and don't give it any energy, and they fizzle and dies in them. When you let the important parts of you die, of course you can't find them. Of course it becomes much more difficult for you to get back to it because now you have to regrow it from scratch, or now you have to resummon it from the darkness. You have to remanifest these things that were already intrinsically in you to love. No wonder you can't find yourself because you're not putting any time, any energy, any money, any spiritual resources into what makes you be fulfilled. And a lot of the people who I encounter who have this issue are mothers, especially if they're spouses, because they've taken on this partner. Okay, got to make them happy. Ain't nothing wrong with that. Make your man happy. Now we done had a baby, or vice versa, because the world be worlding. Okay. And now I have all these responsibilities, and everybody needs my time, and everybody needs my attention, and everybody needs stuff, so I got to spend my money on them. And everybody needs all of these different pieces of me. And you give, and you give, and you give, and you give, and you give until you run out, until you run out of hours in the day, until you run out of energy in your body, until you run out of money in your pocket. And then we do this to ourselves to the point where we don't even feel right buying a new pair of shoes when ours fall apart. Why? Because you've made everybody else's needs a higher priority than yours, as if you do not matter. And when you treat something like it doesn't matter, you don't feed it, you starve it out and it dies. You've starved out your personality, it dies. You've starved out your desires, they've died. You've starved out the things that make you you, that make you glow, and you wonder why you can't find yourself. So I'm not saying abandon your kids or your spouse. I'm not saying that. I'm definitely saying don't forget that you belong on that priority list just like everybody else. If you truly love the people around you, making yourself a part of your own priority list will only enhance the way in which you are able to take care of them. And I'm going to say that again. If you truly love the people around you, making yourself part of your priority list will only enhance the way in which you're able to care for them, will only enhance the way in which you are able to love them, will only enhance the way in which you are able to serve them. Because we are supposed to be serving from our overflow and not from our the bottom of our resources. And I know it feels like sometimes, and I was having this conversation with a friend of mine, it feels like you're not giving enough when you're giving to yourself. But if you fortify yourself, not only are you able to give more, you're able to give the best parts of you. You're able to give great parts of you. You're able to give happy parts of you instead of the parts of you that's agitated because you haven't spent any time on the things that you love. And it doesn't have to be a lot of time, it just has to be fulfilling. Quality over quantity all day. Quality over quantity all day. Because quantity don't mean nothing if I don't feel it. I could drink a gallon of coffee right now. That's going to leave me dehydrated. Going to taste good. I love coffee. Or I could have a bottle of water and be about my day. Making yourself a priority is not a crime. Making yourself a priority is not selfish. Making yourself a priority actually allows you to be more selfless because you have more to pull from. It allows you to serve more because you have more to give because you are fulfilled. So if you find yourself not able to find yourself, it's time to go back. Think about the things that you've once loved. Think about the things that have made you happy in the different times of your life in which you have been happy. And draw from that. Give some time, give some energy, give some money, give your resources to those things, even if it's just in a small way. If you loved watching movies, but you haven't been to the movies in a year and a half, do they still do $5 Tuesdays? Because I ain't been. They do. They do. Okay, good. Get you $5 plus tax. Put some candy in your purse or your backpack or your pocket or whatever, and go. And allow yourself 2 hours a month to be fulfilled. You don't have to throw everything else away, but you deserve to be a priority in your own life, because if you don't make you a priority in your own life, how do you expect really too much of anybody else to? Perhaps your partner might, perhaps your loved ones might, but they're going to see it as a lower importance because you don't even do it. And quite frankly, if they were making you a priority, you probably would already be fulfilled by the things that they do for you, because at least you are a priority in somebody's life. And the fact that you are not, and you are dissatisfied, is an indicator that you need to step up for you. You need to step up for you. You need to step up for you. What if, we were in a space, in a community where when a new mother has a baby, instead of everybody clamoring around the baby, we clamored around the mother and made sure she had everything that she needed. Yeah, we kind of do that in the vein of bringing a bunch of gifts to the baby shower. But I'm actually one that loves to bring like a robe and some slippers and some things specifically for mom to baby showers, because I know that they will be bombarded with diapers and clothes and little cutesy lootsy booties and wipes. And of course, those are things that they need. But what about this vessel that is bringing life? What about their needs? What about their care? What about their recuperation? What about their support? Yeah, we can be there for the baby, of course. But can we be there for the mother? Can we be there for the father to give him knowledge and wisdom and support and love as he is trying to support this new family or this new addition to the family? What if we made sure that nobody got lost in the priority list, that everybody, the whole village, is uplifted as we make our different transitions through life? What if we didn't shame people for the way they prioritize themselves? What if we would have a lot more fulfillment? Thank you. I didn't want to forget about this point neither. So, hey, all you people pleasers out there. I see you. Sometimes I be you. The sad thing is that we have found it adaptive to make other people's lives a higher priority than your own. That's why you're a people pleaser. You have made other people's joy a higher priority than your own. That is why you're a people pleaser. And you do it under the guise that it will make your life easier. But if it did, you wouldn't be in so much distress. And so, what'd you say?
He said, at me next time.
At you next time. You people pleaser, Tom.
You ain't realize that by now?
You have made other people's satisfaction, other people's gratification a higher priority than your own for the sake of making your own so happy. And it is not working. It is not working. If it was working, then it would be working. Then you wouldn't be listening to me right now. Feeling attacked. But we do it because we don't want to lose people. We do it because we don't want people to be upset with us. We do it because we don't want to be uncomfortable, and then we end up being uncomfortable. So we put our time, our energy, and our money into making everybody else around us comfortable and making ourselves uncomfortable. We have prioritized everybody else's needs above our own. And I wish I had a magic like set of like skills and detailed analysis of how to make you change. But really, like, the answer to that is stop. The answer to that is make room for you. Make room for what you want. Make room for what you like. And if people fall away because you are making room for your own self in your own life, then I guess they don't fit no more. Perhaps it was time for them to be pushed out. If you making room for yourself causes other people to fall out of your life, let them go by the wayside, because they are not actually in support of you being your best self. They are not in support of you being grand. So they don't fit. If you riding in your car, you're the driver, your car, you pay for it, put gas in it. And it's 5 people that want to get in your car. It makes no sense for you to give up the driver's seat. Because guess what? Now you can't go. And that is exactly what us people pleasers are doing when we allow everybody else to take precedent in our lives, when we want to make everybody else happy. We're taking our trip down the road of life. And instead of making room for ourselves and leaving somebody disappointed, we just go ahead and give up the driver's seat. And now we can't go. That makes no sense. You can't make it make sense to me. Everybody can't go. Everything can't stay. Everything outside of ourselves doesn't always have room to be the priority. You have to put your foot down and be a priority in your life. You have to establish boundaries to make yourself a priority in your life. You have to disappoint other people in order to be a priority in your life. You have to drop the ball sometimes on other people's projects or other people's expectations to make yourself a priority in your life. But you know who you're serving in that time period? You're serving you. You're serving you, and not only are you serving you, but you're serving everybody who is to be blessed by the fortification of you growing brighter. And if people aren't in that anymore, the better you get, then they needed to be dropped off on that stop anyways. Because you were never your full self was never for them. Only the diminished version of you was for them. And is that what you want to offer to the world? A diminished version of yourself? That don't make no sense to me at all. You are here to offer the greatest version of yourself to the world. And you cannot do that by prioritizing the wants, the wishes, the dreams, the needs of everybody else above yourself while diminishing your own. You cannot offer the greatest version of yourself to the world if you don't even know where and who that is. It's watered down. It's great value. And I buy great value from time to time, but we know what's up. And so, in order to make yourself a priority, you have to know what you want to do. You have to set your sight on it. You have to be honest, have honest conversations with yourself about how and why you are making different things a priority in your life. You got to be cool sometimes with even dropping the ball in your own life in order to maneuver in the things that you really, really need to be a priority in any given time. Everything won't go smoothly. Everything won't be easy. But when you prioritize the things that you truly, truly need to fortify yourself, oh, you will grow brighter. Oh, you will grow brighter. And so, yeah, I was actually before the show here today, I was telling Tone about how I've been getting a lot of compliments on my appearance in particular.
She's sexy. Out loud.
Yeah, you did, but I don't know if the whatever. If the mic picked it up, it picked it up. They know what it is. I know you see it. I've been getting a lot of compliments on my appearance lately, and people are like, "Oh my god, what are you doing? Oh my god, you're so different." And all I'm doing is spending more time on myself. All I'm doing is rearranging my priorities. I've been going to the gym more often. I've been taking walks more often. I drink V8 in the morning.
You old.
I am old.
You're not even drinking V8 Splash. You're drinking
V8 Splash is too much sugar for me first thing in the morning.
What I'm saying is,
I need my 2.5 servings of vegetables to start my day off. It gets me going better than the coffee, and I've made it a priority to start my day that way.
You're not wrong, because I ain't had a good V8 in a minute.
Man, look, I be putting like 5 or 6 of them in the refrigerator just so I got enough to be cold for the whole week. Don't play with it.
Soup.
It ain't nothing but cold tomato soup. I'm fully aware of it, but it made me feel good. And yeah, and I've made it a priority in my life to do these things, and I've been reaping the benefits from it. I have had more energy. Do I have more energy that day? Probably not, because I be whooping my own tail in the gym. Oh my god! But, but I went skating, and I wasn't sore the day after, and I could do stuff before and after. I'm not that great of a skater, but I was out there doing my thing, and I was not super sore the day after. I still had energy to do whatever I wanted to do the rest of the day. Like roller skating at a skating rink. Yeah, I mean, I'm not roll bounce coordinated, but I was out there.
Okay. You was out there with a nigga named Sweetness.
Don't stop talking to me, because if you're not even gonna have your mic on, I told you I was just gonna be looking crazy, cutting my eyes towards the corner, and I know I just did it. I know my face screwed up. See, look, I can't make him a priority right now while I'm in the middle of trying to make a good point on my show. But I have been just investing more time in myself. I've been pulling back from from spending my time in different spaces because I feel like I've been investing too much time there when I could be doing other things in my life. And there's nothing wrong with that because doing different things have served me in the times in which I've done them. But now I need to serve myself and make myself a different kind of priority. I've started my days different. I have a lot of gratitude towards another preacher friend of mine, Brooks Griffin, and his fiance Adrian Guyton, who were sharing with me. Um, they what was Magic Morning, Miracle Mornings, something like that is the title of the book. I forget the exact title of the book, but there is an acronym, Savers, in which you construct the beginning of your day. So you start your day with silence, affirmations, visualizations, exercise, and reading and scribing or writing or like journaling. And they broke that down to me as, the key core concept of the book. And that's how they start their day. And what I've done, because I actually do quite a few of those things in my morning, but I had been searching for a way to kind of more streamline my morning routine, and make it a little bit more intentional. And when they gave me the acronym, I realized I had been doing many of those things, maybe not necessarily in one morning. And maybe I've stretched it out a little bit longer than I should. Like I could spend a lot of time journaling, and look, a daydream. Look, talk about some visualization. Sometimes I'll just be out there, but they shared that with me from that book, and I was able to take the concept and apply it to the way that I start my mornings in a way that I find it most useful for me. And so for some people, affirmations might be you can play your affirmations, you can say your affirmations. I've been writing my affirmations on the mirror and I read them back to myself. The silence in the morning for me is not just about being quiet in my space, but it's about quieting my mind as I start the day. Because I could wake up thinking 1,000 thoughts. And that is not quiet. That is actually starting the day with quite a bit of noise and chaos. But even in that, it has made me detach from my phone a little bit more, and be really more present in my day before I truly get it started. It helps me be more intentional about what am I going to do when I first wake up. And so it puts the priority on me and how I would like to start my day and being settled and being centered. And so through that, I have been able to kind of ground myself much more effectively when I start my day using things that I've already done, using tools that I already have. Like, we don't have to reinvent the wheel. And no, I'm not getting a full exercise in the first hour of my day, but sometimes I go to the gym, and sometimes I just go for a long walk, and sometimes I just stretch, and sometimes I be doing push-ups and I make it work in a way that fits into my life, that makes me feel like I have truly invested something in myself. So even if the whole rest of the day goes awry, I know that I've at least started off with making myself a priority and investing in myself, if only for an hour or maybe longer. And so for different people, that might show up in different kind of ways. But I really, 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 really encourage people to find the easy way to do the hard thing. Find the most streamlined way to get in the things that are going to bring you great satisfaction. Find goals throughout your life that make your experience better. Another thing that I had established in my own life was I want my home to be a sanctuary and my room to be an oasis. I've always said that my home is my sanctuary. It hadn't been feeling so much like a sanctuary. It definitely is peaceful. Ain't no chaos up in my crib. I mean, it's messy, but it's not chaotic. Um, but my room being an oasis helped me reframe the way that I conceptualize my bedroom. I make my bed much more often now. I'm not a bed maker. Look. But in my oasis, if I'm prioritizing making that space an oasis, when I walk into like a resort or something like that, my bed is made. When I walk into a nice hotel, my bed is made. I have an attitude if housekeeping didn't come through and make my bed. And so if I want that experience out of my life, I got to be the one to prioritize doing it. I've done things like take books and unfinished projects out of my room because I don't have a bunch of literature sitting around in my oasis. I got like flowers. I've and I've just been getting flowers more recently too, more like randomly, and I appreciate that too. But um who buys me flowers? I be getting flowers from random places. My friend Sheena and her daughter bought me some flowers when we were just hanging out in the park. It was so lovely. You not buying me no flowers. Don't worry about who buying me flowers.
What might show up at podcast day one day?
Okay, then well if some flowers show up, then I will add them to my vase. He over here talking to me, trying to throw me off of my priorities, and I'm trying to prioritize my show. Tone, we gonna argue when this camera go off. Who jealous? You jealous of who buying me flowers?
Yes.
Well, do better. Anyway. But yes, in my oasis, there are fresh flowers and wildflowers. In my oasis, my vanity is clean. I take time to do these things because that is what I am prioritizing in this era of my life. And so, yes, it takes reconfiguration. Sometimes it is a slow process to turn my space into that. But there are some elements that are already there. It is and it's all for the betterment and the edification of myself. And if I can streamline things and know that it's going to take me 2, 3, 5 minutes to do this, if I can find the best time to do it, like I make my bed when I put my coffee on and I go make my bed, and by the time I'm done making my bed, my coffee like be mostly done or close enough, or really I know I ain't doing nothing else in that time period, so I might as well make my bed. And who knows if this will hold on for forever.
It will.
The ADBHD, so I don't know.
It only takes 3 times to become a habit.
The ADBHD, and it takes about 4 years for a habit to form. And then we want to change it. But for now, I know that these things are serving me. I know that taking, 5 more minutes, actually, no, it'll be 10 to 15. I ain't gonna lie, to put a little makeup on to make sure that I smell a little bit better. I've been putting on dresses and stuff like in the middle of the week for no real reason other than these are my clothes in my closet and I'm going to wear them and I like them. All of these things are to invest in myself and to grow and glow instead of diminish me, and to prioritize the things I really already have access to, which is self-love. You're not loving yourself if you're prioritizing everybody's needs and neglecting yourself. That's not love. You wouldn't treat your partner like that. You wouldn't treat your child like that. You wouldn't treat your best friend like that. And you shouldn't treat yourself like that. And if you do treat your partner, your best friend, and your child like that, no wonder they acting the way they act. Because there's no love there. There's no prioritization there. And so you become your priorities. The longer and the more energy you invest in something, the more it manifests into your life. If I start smoking crack right now and my face starts sinking in, y'all gonna be like, wow, what happened? Well, I prioritized being a dope fiend, and it's gonna show.
Life ain't that hard.
Life is definitely not. I hope life never ever gets that hard. But if I prioritize going to the gym and I do it frequently, after a while it's gonna show. It's already showing. Yes. And so yeah, I'm not just talking to y'all, I'm talking to me too. I know, like, even with this podcast, I know that there are times where I've put a lot more energy into it. I've given my resources a lot more to it. I've prioritized it a lot more in my life, and there are times where I've neglected the mess of this thing. And it really has a lot to do with what's going on in my life, and whether or not I even feel like being on camera, and whether or not I even feel like I have something to say. I know I got something to say. That's why I still keep coming back. Um, but ultimately, you are your priorities, and it might be difficult for you to shift your priorities in order for your life to for you to manifest different things in your life. But it is essential. You know, we always say doing the same thing over and over and expecting different results is the definition of insanity. Well, living your life exactly the same way, day in and day out, and expecting it to get better or change doesn't say. Oh, it will change, but not because you changed it, because the sands of time decided to run. Yeah, you're gonna get older. But your body gonna break down. Uh, and depending on what you're doing, you might be investing in that change slowly but surely in ways that you don't want to admit. But by shifting yourself, prioritizing things, big things, small things, your skin icky, drink more water. Like prioritizing different things in your life, shifting them around to put yourself on your own list will lead to a much more fulfilling life. Because at the end of the day, you are your priorities. Be mindful and honest about what you spend your time, your energy, and your money, your spiritual resources on, because it will manifest in your life sooner or later. Everybody knows some little kid that eat candy all the time. They're going to get cavities. If they don't get cavities, even if they stay skinny, eventually they're going to be like, what? I'm 40 and I all of a sudden got this pot belly. I've been eating like this my whole life. That metabolism done finally got you. Or you see somebody that's overweight and they always in the gym, they get laughed at on day one. Then 3, 4 years from now, wow, what did you do? Worked. Prioritized this over what I was doing before, and it will manifest. And the more consistent you are about something, the more heavily it will manifest, and more consistently it will manifest in your life, good, bad, or ugly. Is that all I got? I think that's all I got for that. Mm-hmm. 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 You lost yourself because you don't prioritize your desires. You people please because you prioritize everybody else's needs above your own. The only way you're gonna change that around is by choosing today to choose you. Choosing today to lift yourself up. Choosing today to invest in things, big and small, that are going to make your life better, and being honest and relentless about it. And that's that. All right. I'm gonna go ahead. Yeah, we done hit the hour mark. I'm gonna go ahead and pray out, and that be that. Dear Heavenly Father, I thank you for this day. I thank you for this inspiration. I thank you for this time. I thank you for your love, and I thank you for your guidance. And I ask that anybody who has come under the sound of my voice, they may be blessed, they may be touched, they may be fortified, and they may put you first, put themselves first, and set the priorities in a way that will most edify their lives. In the name of the Father, the Son, Holy Spirit, thank God and amen. I thank y'all all for being here and taking time with me, Moment with Moeghetti. Please don't forget to like, comment, and share. I'm Moeghetti on all platforms: Facebook, YouTube, Instagram, TikTok. Um, Follow me for updates about the podcast, inspirational stuff, as well as information about where I'll be in the city, whether it be live stuff or on podcasts or whatever we got going on in the community. Let's be village and support. I appreciate you all. And if you would like to support the podcast, feel free to hit my Cash App, #tag Moeghetti. Buy me a coffee, buy me a car, whatever's in your wallet or whatever's on your heart. If you've been inspired by what happened to here today, that is just a simple way that you can show some appreciation. And if you don't have it to give financial appreciation, like, comment, share the podcast, podcast, share it with somebody who you feel like could use this information, digest it yourself, and use it in your own life. And that is the way that you can energetically, spend your resources with me. So, with that being said, I'm so glad to be back. I feel great. I have some glorious ideas of what I want to do, both with this platform and outside of it. And I can't wait to share it all with you all. Yeah. So thank you for spending a moment with me. I am Moeghetti. Go ahead, Tom, take me out.